That's a lot. That's music. I'd have to. Oh my god! I'd have to go into the studio, and I'd have to come up with music. I'd have to hire a band.
I'm happy that somebody appreciates my work here.
Is Seth MacFarlane and the MacFarlane 12? Are they available?
No, they're busy. They're busy playing retirement homes across this great land.
Damn it. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to settle for Frank Sinatra Jr.
He's with Seth MacFarlane.
Damn. Well.
Yeah, Seth is one of those guys who's gonna retire to Las Vegas.
He really is.
I just need to upload the scroll. Or update the scroll.
Oh, guess what you can add to the scroll?
What?
I have not played WoW in a week.
Oh! We're all
so edited.
I have, however, been playing Diablo like it's going out of style.
New update fun?
Oh my god. So much fun, except for the fact that now they're breaking it. Well, I'm not going to say they're breaking it. They're going to fix it. Because one of the Spiritborn builds is an evade-based build, and there's a way to evade cancel for Spiritborn. Like mid-animation, they can evade again. They cancel the current evade and evade again, and it builds stacks of a certain buff, and it has caused server issues where the servers have actually crashed because too many people on the server are doing this trick.
Sounds like a self-help article.
What, too many people turning a trick?
Too many people are doing this trick, and the government doesn't want you to know. Yeah. I wish I had a dick pill named after me. I'd hawk that shit left and right. Be like, this probably works. Get your dick hard.
Get your hard dicks right over here.
Get your hard dick. Dr. Niggle's got your hard dicks. Sorry, I didn't mean to drag you to this, Omega.
Wow, he just drug Omega right into it.
No, I didn't mean that. That was a mistake.
But was it, though?
Anyway, yes, Omega, it's everything that you were saying in the DMs. I had an unpleasant conversation with a mutual friend of Omega's and mine today. A guy we went to college with. That was reminiscent of a conversation that he had with a mutual friend of ours much longer ago, where we basically just stopped talking to someone because she went off the deep end.
Oof. My condolences.
It's fine. This guy is. I mean, he's had.
She's a Trumper now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
God.
Fuck yeah, she's a Trumper now.
You think she's a Trumper?
Yeah.
She went that far?
Well, Dems are brainwashing our children into eating the 5G, which makes them gay, and the gay marriage is tearing this country apart. So yeah, Trump fits in there somehow.
Look, all you have to do is put a lesbian in it.
Make her lame and gay?
Yeah, make it lame and gay.
Yeah, that's sort of a Trump. That's a great South Park meme is what that is. And I laugh at it because that is kind of funny. But as a serious social agenda, yeah, I think that's pushed more by the right than the left. Don't worry.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong.
The Acolyte is never coming back. It was a shit show. It had shit writing. That's why it failed. It didn't fail because the main character was a lady. And,
No, it failed because they went in and they ruined they added things to Star Wars that didn't need to be added to Star Wars.
And they straight up fucking changed things. Yeah, you remember how Anakin was a virgin in the Force, and he was, conceived by the midichlorians, and he was unique, and that's why he was the chosen one? No, actually, it turns out 100 years before this, somebody did it.
Yeah.
The Jedi Council was blissfully
thread.
aware.
It wasn't the Force, it was the thread.
Oh, the thread. Oh, okay, yeah, right. That's because that's a thing. Okay, all right.
I think I feel threatened.
Threatened?
Yeah.
That's what they do to your eyebrows.
That was awful.
Amazing.
I appreciate
Sorry.
that.
You got a collective groan. That's an achievement. I think I heard the achievement noise.
That was pretty great.
And in the middle of that was me tagging Kosen into that abomination of a breakfast sandwich that you posted on the 10th in the pun. Yeah. Yeah. You got a huge what the fuck is that?
I noticed. Tell Kosen, just because I know he's in the other room or he's within earshot, tell him I'll make him one if he comes to Virginia.
I'll do you one better.
I hear furious typing. Oh yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is what you're talking about. A pierogi burger looks pretty fucking good.
Not enough pierogies on it though. Needs massive pierogies as the bun.
Well, that means that you just have more than one of these sandwiches. You have treat them like sliders.
Mm-hmm.
They're regular sized hamburgers, but treat them as like sliders.
You just look at that. The problem is structural integrity.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
There's just too much that's going to be squishing out of the sides.
There is. You need to make wider burgers, not taller burgers.
It's not good.
I like the burger quesadilla. Has enough surface area that it is structurally sound, but has enough meat to satiate my non-vegan needs.
Satiate.
It's a really big word for you, Zero.
It is. Aren't you proud of me? I've been reading the dictionary.
His
Not
favorite
well,
actor.
But I've been reading the dictionary.
His favorite actor is Kevin Satiate.
I was wondering how you got your mouth around it.
Unhinged
Have
jaw?
Have you been practicing with Doc lately?
Okay, first of all, yeah, totally. Second of all, what happened to the days when Zero used to say giggity?
Yep. Remember those days?
So long
those
ago.
are fun times.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Church of Chonkwij podcast. My name is DrNiggle, and I play OmegaConstruct bundler Masami and Zero Burn. We're going to have topical discussions about pierogi burgers. Yeah, he's feeling... Yeah, alright, okay. You fucking puns go to fucking hell.
You go to hell and you die.
We're 10 minutes in, okay? Don't get punchy. We're not going to last an hour and a half at this rate.
Oh. Well, I mean, we're here for a short time, not a good time, I guess. We're here for a good time, not a long time. There you go. Sorry.
I was going to give you the assist, but I knew you were going to get there eventually, so.
Yes.
I want to talk about how I got lambasted by a friend of mine for not immediately believing his opinion. That's what I've been thinking about for the last 3 hours. Actually, what I want to know is I held my own. I feel I did my very best to remain neutral until the end when I told them basically, I'm not a fucking moron and I don't treat you like a fucking moron, so just don't. I want to know if what's a reliable news source now, because according to someone who I thought was a fairly reasonable individual, the only place I can get my news are independent journalists, quote-unquote journalists, on Twitter. And this is the same guy who told me at a Thanksgiving dinner about, 10 years ago, that journalism is a joke degree and nobody needs journalists because anybody with a phone is a journalist nowadays. So what's a reliable news source? What am I supposed to read? Who am I supposed to believe?
Let me put this in a way that was that has helped me understand since 1984. In the words of Egon Spengler, print is dead.
That does not help me at all.
Yeah, no, don't believe any of it. Trust your own sources. Do your own fucking research. Believe what you want to believe. You're an individual who you have your own thoughts and agency. You have the capability to research on your own. Believe what you research and you find to hold true.
But like,
That's-
what is
yeah.
a valid place to go for that research then? That's the question that's being asked.
I don't
Yes.
know. Fox News? I'm kidding. Don't take that. That was a joke. Do not take that seriously.
The thing I'm getting at here is that if everybody, there are people with phones everywhere. Every phone has a camera. Everyone has the ability to upload to Twitter. Independent news sources on social media are contextless, or at the very best, their context is here. You've got like a text block. Like that's it. There's no two-step verification. There's no nothing that used to make the news reliable, 50 years ago anymore. It just doesn't exist. So, how do you believe anything? Is it just the first thing that you stumble across? No, I'm being facetious. No, it isn't.
People who say that, what they don't understand is that like journalists serve an important purpose, which is they collect information and disseminate it to people who don't have the time to collect that information themselves. So when people say, do your own research, oh, you go on Twitter, oh, you go watch YouTube videos, they're essentially saying it's every citizen's individual responsibility to be their own journalist. And it's not that journalism is all of a sudden super available because of phones. Like, that's a non sequitur. Yes, there's more information available than ever before, but that very fact is why we need journalists, because your average person, quite frankly, is not equipped to understand all of that information and, search through all that information and just do it. It's just, that's what journalists are for. So it's just a ridiculous misunderstanding of the purpose of journalism whenever somebody says something like that. It's just stupid.
So I happen to agree with you. I was fucking a journalism major for 2.5 years. I learned a little bit about it. Not enough to be a journalist myself, but I learned enough to know why it is important to actually have people who look at news and objectively try to figure out what is true, what is not, and then they sort through everything. They look for consistency, they look for inconsistency, and they don't report their opinions, they report their findings. I understand that, and I agree with you. I think it's kind of a lost cause, though, because on this guy, arguing that is kind of a lost cause. He clearly does not understand what journalism is. He wants to essentially say what you've just said. Yeah, fine, go do your own research. He's spent the last 10 years cultivating resources on Twitter that he happens to agree with. And me trying to explain to him, no, Reuters is not a government mouthpiece. Fine, they don't use language that you like. That's the other thing. He told me Reuters was a garbage news outlet, and then he linked me to an article that cited 5 examples of when Reuters did not use language consistently when talking about Israel versus Hamas. Like, okay. I acknowledge that they didn't use consistent language to describe terrorist groups as opposed to people who got killed on October 7th. I acknowledge that. That doesn't mean that they're just straight out reporting lies. It means that 33% of the time they're not using consistent language, or 33% of the time they're describing Israel and Hamas in the same terms, and then they have a bias, if you want to say that, by not calling Israel terrorists, but they're calling Hamas terrorists. That's an interesting piece of information. That's not enough to make me think that they're a literal shill for a government. And then he uses Al Jazeera as an example of a news outlet that is reporting the truth. which I know Al Jazeera to be clearly biased in favor of Hamas. I know that, and I posted the same kind of article to him. It was worse, significantly worse, actually. I got nothing back, so yeah. I understand journalism is important. I really wish that other people did too.
And the thing is anybody who tells you that all forms of journalism are non-biased is lying.
Well, there are people that call things journalism, and they clearly are not. Like Omega said, yeah, there's more information available to us. Just because you're posting information online about something that you saw happen, that does not make you a journalist. That makes you, I mean, that's important. You're posting information, but the job of a journalist is to go through and vet that and try to find confirmation, secondary sources, tertiary sources, and try to say, yes, okay, definitely this happened here, 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 and here. And it is not, as far as I understand it, it's not part of the core principle of a journalist to give you an opinion. It's their job to report facts to you. If they're making an editorial, all right, fine, sure. But editorials are usually clearly marked, and you can avoid them because I avoid them because I don't much care for other people's opinions when it comes to news. Makes me frustrated.
Welcome to Monday, everybody.
Yeah,
it's not new to you.
It's been a hell of a Monday. That's enough out of you, Masami. God fucking damn it.
We're not going to make it an hour and a half. We're just not. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, every minute we're almost there.
Anyway, the Justice Department called for sanctions against Google on a landmark antitrust case. This is kind of funny. Again, Google's getting the shit kicked out of them. And I'm all for it. It is hilarious to watch a giant get kicked in the balls. But yeah, the Department of Justice is proposing a series of sanctions against Google to ensure that it can no longer monopolize the search engine market. Obviously this is good, yeah, because, Google comes as the default search provider for pretty much everything. But one thing that I am concerned about is that I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Mozilla Firefox is hanging on by a thread. They need Google. Google's like their primary investor, and the way that they can keep Google is by putting Google as their default search provider, which is also kind of hilarious because they give you instructions on how to change your default search provider when you install Firefox. But I really don't want a court to tell Google that it needs to pull out of Firefox and then Firefox dies. That would suck. Yeah. So I hope that doesn't happen. But there you go. Google likes to claim everyone chooses Google, but most consumers don't. They just go with the default.
What do they? I mean, who do they choose? True. Fucking Bing. Bing. I mean, I would rather eat a bowl full of rusty nails than to use Bing. Bing is awful.
I love that quote.
I would rather catch tetanus from a rusty spoon.
A rusty nail.
No, not a nail, a spoon.
He's positive.
Oh God. Then all the hurting stop.
I love these references.
But it's just it's Bing is awful. We have it for some reason. It is the default on our browsers at work. And
if your IT department isn't smart?
Well, because our IT department uses says that Microsoft Edge is the superior product.
Your IT department has clearly been bought off by Microsoft.
Our IT department it is in the I'm in the medical field, so our IT department runs everything on Windows.
Zero, have you ever seen the YouTube video of the three people with Down syndrome trying to cook tomato soup?
Yep.
Yeah, that's your IT department.
Yep, nope, that's about right. What's sad is my one of my cousins works for them.
And I would like to say right here and now, I am not trying to insult the Downs community. That might, I'm trying to insult the IT people here. I'm sorry to the Down syndrome community. You don't deserve the comparison. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, Bing sucks. Google's getting sued into the ground for this is the second lawsuit. The first one was over their app store. The second one was over their search engine being default on browsers. And there's a third lawsuit that was in the chamber ready to go when this lawsuit started, and I'm pretty sure is in progress. So it's the United States Department of Justice going after Google, and I say I'm all fucking for it. By the way, Chrome is a shit browser.
No.
You don't say.
You want to make fun of Edge, you have every right to make fun of Edge. You want to make fun of Bing, same thing. But yeah, Google Chrome. Goddamn awful.
Yes, thank you for not edging us along there, Doug.
No.
Oh,
That was a kink joke too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
She's on fire.
This girl is on fire. I haven't done that yet, this podcast.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We will not be DMCA'd by Rihanna. Wait, hang on. Is that Rihanna? I don't know my music from that era.
I missed it. What'd you say? Sing it again.
That girl is on fire.
All right. If Google hasn't, Google. If YouTube hasn't copy strike the video yet, then they're not gonna. And Twitch doesn't give a shit. Holy crap! I've never gotten. Remember when we were saying the 3 forbidden words over and over again, and
repeatedly, just to see if we could get banned.
Yeah, Twitch does not give a shit. Nobody. I mean, we have, or I used to have views on our streams on Twitch, and yeah. I guess Twitch lacks bots. YouTube has bots. Do all the
Twitch
listening
is run
for
by
them.
Amazon, so take that for what you will.
What is Jeff Bezos up to these days? Has he grown hair
Who
yet?
knows? Counting.
Settling his divorce yet?
Oh, did she take? Yeah, she took his eyebrows and his hair in the divorce.
Oh. The least she could have done is left the man his eyebrows.
All I remember, my forever memory of Jeff Bezos is going to be William Shatner returning to Earth, trying to have a person-to-person moment with Jeff Bezos, and Jeff Bezos just not giving a shit because he only cared about being on TV with 2 hot girls. That's my forever memory of Jeff Bezos. Human trash.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking atrocious moment. Tried to comprehend the majesty of going to space, and Jeff is more interested in popping bottles with his floozies.
I have champagne, and this is cleavage. Why are you talking to me about space? Because you were just in space? Oh, I forgot. I did that, didn't I? You're welcome. And I've been using DuckDuckGo a while ago. I migrated off Google over a year ago, or just under a year ago. My anniversary is going to be Pearl Harbor Day, actually.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. December 7th?
Anniversary day.
Yep. I migrated everything off Google. I have nothing. I mean, I still have a Gmail account, and I still use that account to post our videos to YouTube. But besides that, nope. I went back to the Stone Age. I am a Neo-Luddite who uses OBS to stream a podcast.
A Neo-Luddite. I love it.
Hero was thinking you were going to be using Ask Jeeves.
Oh, that's a great idea! Dude, I bet that still exists.
If it's good enough for Danica Patrick, it's good enough for me. Go, Daddy.
Okay, here. Yeah, I just pulled it up. Allow JavaScript? Fuck yes.
Nah.
Wait, their
AskJeeves.com.
website still works?
Yes, I just came here. Terms of service, 24. Yeah, Ask Media Group, LLC, copyright 2024. Okay, you used to be able to ask Jeeves, are you gay? And he used to say, none of your business.
Does he still do that, though?
No, now it just comes back with lame search results.
Lame.
Yeah, I think he got sold a few times, and
Wait, from ask.com. Why does the FDA still ban blood donations from gay men? The FDA? They're the Food and Drug Administration? They don't have anything to do with blood donations. Do you mean the CDC?
I keep telling people that vampires are real, and nobody fucking believes me.
If
There's
the
your
FDA's
fucking proof. Jeeves has provided us the proof.
Oh, so, okay, because vampires are real, the FDA is in charge of blood because it's technically a food. I gotcha.
Yes.
All right.
Yep. See, I knew you'd get there eventually.
Okay.
something about frogs in the water, Zero?
Yeah, yes. Fluoride in the water.
Yeah, no, they're eating the 5G. No, you have to work 5G and Bill Gates into there somehow. Also,
5G is putting the fluoride in the water and turning the frickin' frogs gay.
And how do you work microchips into it too? There are microchips in our blood. That's how Elon gets us to vote for Hillary.
Jesus.
That was so fucking dumb.
Fuck. Like, there's dumb, and then there's whatever the fuck that was.
Oh, well, yeah. I outdid myself.
You really did. Did it hurt? Like, did that hurt your brain at all when you said that?
I'm in like, no, I'm still in catharsis mode. I'm just like, all right, yeah, whatever. Jesus loves you. Rejoice. Kevin Smith's dogma is finally free of the Weinsteins. Somebody posted this, please.
I did, because
No,
Kevin
didn't.
Smith is
I
my... wait, yes, you did. And then
You
yes,
jackass.
you did. Yes, you did. I'm sorry. Kevin Smith is my best friend, and I didn't hear about this before you did. I'm sorry.
Why isn't Kevin Smith on the podcast? Call him right now. Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry, Omega. I owe you a huge apology for that.
Jackass.
How did this happen? How'd they get it out from underneath the Weinstein Company?
Weinstein sold the rights.
Yeah, I mean, he's fucking destitute.
Oh, this is because Harvey is still
In jail.
Yeah.
he's still in jail and he's still getting sued.
He's in jail for touching broads. Women
For
broads.
Yeah, no, for straight up rape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in prison for doing some horrific things.
Yeah, oh, yeah, okay, all right. I'm reading it. Yeah, you're right. I hope against hope. See, this is one of those things that it's like Firefly to me. Firefly needs no sequels. It needs no reboot. Just leave it alone. This is fantastic because you can sell, or Kevin Smith can sell Dogma again. So
yes.
Put it on have a Blu-ray release. Have like go back to the film print.
He says he's planning on doing a tour like he's done for some of his other movies, and he's going to be,
He's going to re-release it in theaters and everything,
Yeah,
which,
it's gonna be
God,
cool.
I hope beyond hope that he does it, because you want to talk about people's fucking head, the Christian right's head exploding. Oh my God.
So Dogma, it's worth reminding everybody, because I love telling this story. When Dogma came out, yes, there was this huge backlash from the Christian community who said that it was like the worst thing since Monty Python's Life of Brian. Kevin Smith got caught on camera by a news team protesting his own movie, and he acted like he wasn't Kevin Smith. for the interview.
Right.
It was amazing.
It was
He was
great.
there in with the protesters, and yeah, it's
He
one of my
shit talk.
favorite things.
He trash talked his own movie on a local news TV station, and they were like, "Are you Kevin Smith?" And he was like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Who is that? Who is Kevin
Yeah.
Smith?
So yeah, I'm all for. This article says that Dogma Blu-ray costs $125 on Amazon, and used copies fetch about half that. I am all for Kevin Smith like doing a second
Crashing that market.
crash that fucking market. Put
Absolutely
Blu-ray costs back down to like
crashing.
$20, $15 for a Blu-ray of Dogma, and just watch it sell like hotcakes.
I have the special edition Steelbook,
Ooh, yeah.
and
oh,
I can
yeah.
get $280 for that right now.
Yeah, you could if you were a fucking tool.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong.
You've
But I'm
missed
not
your
Or
opportunity,
desperate.
Zero. You missed your opportunity.
Yep.
You should have done it a month ago.
I'm okay with that because honestly, I did not know if this movie was ever going to see the light of day again. So
Does
you know,
your best friend and heterosexual life partner Kevin Smith know that you are conspiring to hawk your copy of Dogma for an inflated price?
no. But now he does because he listens to the podcast because, we're best
Ooh.
friends and all.
Ooh.
He
Hi,
goes,
Kevin Smith.
Thank you for throwing me under the bus, Doc, you dick.
Hey,
He goes,
you're the one who fucking talked about it. All right. Oh, it's one of those days. Also, there's something called the 4:30 movie that Kevin
movie.
Smith put out a while ago. I haven't seen it yet, but I probably will. Kevin Smith's movies, for me, are hit or miss. I happen to really enjoy Red State, not because I thought that it was really topical or it made good points. It was just very well written. It's a movie that relies heavily on scenes of dialogue, and those are tricky to pull off. Quentin Tarantino is pretty much a master of it. But in order for you to sit down, and whoever wrote all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, again, very, very good at it. Better Call Saul, that's another example of writers being very, very good at what they do. I thought Red State was, I'm not comparing it to any of those, but I thought Red State was very well done because the dialogue in it was compelling. The characters were, felt real.
Red State was a very good movie.
For a Kevin Smith movie, I think it was
Yeah.
one of the better, possibly one of the best. But it's tough to outdo early Kevin Smith. Dogma and Clerks is gonna.
Yeah,
they'll
Dogma,
probably be
Clerks,
remembered as the
Chasing
best.
Amy.
Wasn't really a fan of Chasing Amy, and I do like Ben Affleck.
I don't.
That's fine. I have kind of a mandatory liking of demand for liking
Yeah,
Ben Affleck,
that's a
'cause,
regional thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an asshole.
I get it, but I fucking hate him. I love Matt Damon though, and I hate it when they're in all these fucking movies together.
I do unironically love Matt Damon.
I do love the fact that in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, that they made reference to the fact that this was an exploitative piece just to get by Kevin Smith, just to get the two of them in movies that he asked them to be in.
Well, that's why the Jay and Silent Bob movie worked when it came out all those years later, is because it was meta. It's the same reason why I can't really make fun of the last Matrix movie, because Lana Wachowski, who I'm pretty sure wrote the whole damn thing, possibly over a weekend, knew exactly what was happening here. It was Warner Brothers came to her and was just like, hey, we want a Matrix sequel, and her sister was just like, no, we're not doing that, we don't need to, it's done. And Warner Brothers was like, hey, if you don't do it, we'll find someone who will. So the movie basically became a meta fuck you to the sequel industry, and it knows exactly what it is. It doesn't pretend to be anything else. It's all in there. So I can't really make fun of the last Matrix movie because they nailed it. I didn't like it, but they knew exactly what they were doing.
It was bad. It was very bad.
In terms of the technical aspects, like the fight choreography of the last Matrix movie as compared to any of the three original movies, was not on par. But yeah, as I say, the one thing I can't knock is the story. It's basically a meta commentary on why sequels and prequels are fucking everywhere. It's because people just gobble that shit up. They want comfort. They want ease. They don't want change.
They don't want to be challenged.
Yeah, thinking is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Formulating an original opinion is just, it takes too much time.
My wife and I were actually talking about this the other day because they've been showing Hocus Pocus 2 a lot on TV, and my wife was like, I don't know why they felt the need to go in and do that to that movie. The first one was good. They didn't need to do a second one.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The story was complete.
Yeah, the first one was good. That's a challenging statement in and of itself. I love it because it's nostalgic. I don't... Did they actually dig up Bette Midler and use her as a sock puppet for Hocus Pocus 2?
Yes, they did. They also had... They actually had... What was it? Sarah Michelle Gellar? Was in it too?
Yeah. Bride of Horsenstein. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other girl who played the one that rode the vacuum cleaner in the first movie.
And then the other one, the hot one.
Yeah.
I have a nostalgic love of Hocus Pocus. I watched that a lot when I was a kid. That found its way onto TV a lot. That and Masami, what was the name of the movie with Morticia Adams? Morticia Adams, the actress that played Morticia Adams, was her name is
Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston, thank you. Angelica Houston plays the like queen of the witches, and the witches have a conference at a hotel, and this little kid sneaks into the conference, but they catch him and they turn him into a mouse, and he has.
I thought it was called Witches.
Was it actually just called Witches?
I think it was.
Whatever that movie was, I fucking loved it.
And they redid it with Anne Hathaway, and it was just awful. They redid it with Anne Hathaway as the lead.
You know what? I heard a rumor that Hocus Pocus 2 was being done, and I never paid attention to it, and I didn't actually know it was a movie until you just spoke about it. And I had no fucking idea that they tried to redo The Witches with Anne Hathaway until you just spoke about it. I'm actually happy that I knew nothing about that until now. And I'm going to put it out of my mind.
I've ruined it for you.
No, you haven't. You've informed me. You've given me information that is accurate, and I appreciate that. I am now going to forget about it because I...
Because I don't want to remember.
I'm now going to
drink it away.
I'm going to bang
alcohol.
He said
the
alcohol.
Proof,
I get to
the
drink.
harder the brain, Scrubby. I don't think that would have.
All right.
What was it? There's a restaurant here. I don't know if you guys have them. Cheddar's. But they have a drink called the Delete the Day, and you're only allowed to have 2. It specifically says that in the menu. Cheddar's Delete the Day. Maximum number ordered per person, 2.
Is that like their take on a Long Island?
I guess so.
See, the thing about alcohol is that the closer you get to 100% pure, the more volatile the concoction becomes, and it's not possible for you to keep it a liquid anymore. Pure ethanol is a vapor at room temperature, so I mean you can't. It's more like breathing your drink at a certain point.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That's why Everclear tops out at 195 proof.
Yes. See, 195 is about the top that you can get. You can maybe push 197, but that's about as high as you can get before things just start evaporating off the top. You can boof
then
it,
you
though.
also start bringing in a lot of other toxic byproducts and effects. Like it's hard to get it more pure than that because there's all the other alcohols that come over in the distillation.
It's not ethyl alcohol, but back in the lab, we used to have extremely high proof. It was probably isopropyl, but yeah, you can work it pretty fantastically. Anyway, the point is, go out and buy Everclear and just chuck that. It's probably cheaper than going to Denny's.
And less likely to take your breath away.
Acceptable.
Hey. You know what? Top Gun as a sequel, Top Gun was pretty fucking good. I'll say I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise, obviously, but you know what? As far as an action movie went, it had practical effects and it did the right thing, and it had that cheesy '80s movie in it. Now. The Masami just reminded me of. Now. Tom Cruise likes man butt. Man butt.
That's why he's always running away in movies.
Man butt. Man butt. I wish he would just come out and live his best life.
Is that one of the reasons Top Gun was so great? Was because
the homoerotic undertones.
Well, it gave us both one of the most the wonderfully homoerotic scenes in movie history, and also like a pretty hot, not gay scene too. Whatever that actress's name is that I don't know her from anything else really.
Oh yeah, the one who got replaced by Jennifer Connelly in the sequel. Yes, you're right.
So, fun fact I learned this weekend is that Jennifer Ortega, the girl who played Wednesday, was almost played the girl in Dune that Zendaya played.
She would have been
Johnny?
far more interesting. Yeah. I don't like Zendaya. And the only reason that I got her name right was because you just said it. Otherwise, I would have called her Zendadine Zidane. I don't like her. I don't think that she is a terribly good actor. I don't get it. I don't get what the hype is. She seems to play the same character in every single movie. She did an excellent job as Mary Jane in Dune. Is how I'll put that.
That's great.
We never had that conversation. There's an ugly conversation coming up with Parker Omega about why I think that Dennis kind of fucked up Dune, and it's gonna be an artistic argument which everybody hates, and I completely understand it.
You don't like the Dune movies?
I have a problem with what Dennis did in the second Dune movie because he interpreted the character of Paul incorrectly and kind of fucked everything up. And the worst part is, I know how he's going to get around it.
Okay, so what did he fuck up?
So...
I was going to say...
Strap in, everyone! Grab the popcorn!
There was an interview that Frank Herbert gave, I think in 1967, with someone from the University of Oregon. And this is a fairly well-known interview. They talked about Dune up and down and how Frank Herbert decided to just come up with the story, the setting in the first place, where he started. And it's a compelling interview to read. You can find it on the internet. It's not that difficult. You can go and read it. It's lengthy. But in there, Frank Herbert does talk about, this is 1967, he does talk about how white nations are acting as colonizers in the Middle East, which was absolutely true in 1967. We, the United States, were dicking around with a lot of governments in the Middle East, and we were imposing our values onto them, and we fucked up Iran pretty fucking hard. Colloquially, the United States intelligence services did a whole bunch of shit because we wanted cheaper oil. This is not in dispute. People have looked at this for decades. So that's one of many, 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 many things that they talked about. But I'm pretty sure that Dennis, at some point, read that interview and started thinking about how Frank Herbert wanted Paul to represent the white savior complex, which is essentially Lawrence of Arabia. All right, a white guy goes to a brown nation and becomes their messiah. Right? That's the white savior complex. Real thing, real literary device, has happened before. That's not... that may, on the outside, to the layman, that may seem like Paul. I get it. But that is not the essence of the character of Paul. Paul is not a white savior. Not really, because he does not come to do... He is not even a reluctant white savior, because you can say he doesn't go to Arrakis because he wants to. He doesn't go to Arrakis because he needs to. He doesn't go to Arrakis because he wants to save people. He goes to Arrakis because his dad tells him, we're going to Arrakis. And he shows up there. Paul is not a white savior because he tries to be on Arrakis. When he shows up, the Bene Gesserit have already brainwashed people into believing that he is the Assam al-Haid, I think is their term for him. Savior from another planet.
Yes. Lisan al-Gaib.
Yes, thank you. Proper pronunciation is important. He doesn't try for this role. He sort of gets pushed into it because the role has already been there and established to it. So again, Dennis wanted Paul to be the manifestation of the white savior complex, and he wanted Paul to fail because just like culturally speaking, yeah, it's not your business to go into somebody else's... It's a dated notion to go into somebody else's culture and be like, oh, my values are superior, here they are, and now you will be the best. Like, that's a dated notion. I understand that. You don't really want that. But that's not what Paul does. That's not what Paul tries to do. The overreaching theme, if you want to say it for like the first 3 books, is not white savior complex. It is, in fact, colonialism. You're talking about the Spacing Guild and the Bene Gesserit. They use Paul as a tool. They want to colonize Arrakis. They want to be in charge of Arrakis. They treat Paul as a tool to get to that end. So this whole thing about Paul going to Arrakis and all of a sudden he accepts that he is like their god, their savior, their messiah and everything, and Javier Bardem is doing his damnedest to support, the religious fanaticism basically around Paul as Muad'Dib, is kind of... I mean, yes, that happens, but that's missing the point. Why do you have to have Chani hate him at the end of the second movie because he's like acting as the white savior trope? That doesn't happen in the book because that isn't the point. The point is that outside elements are trying to control Arrakis. Paul realizes that he's not in control of his life. He's never been in control of his life, and he starts to hate the fact that he is looked up to as, a leader on the planet, and it leads to this completely opposite character development that was worked on for like book 1 and most of book 2, and then he as a character is like a coin. He flips and he's just like, no, wait, this is fucking bullshit. I'm being used. I've always been used. My life is not my own. And from there, you work on a different story that evolves into Children of Dune, from Dune Messiah into Children of Dune. And yeah, so I don't understand why Dennis had... That was the explanation that Dennis gave for why Chani hates Paul. The two that are supposed to have this epic love story where they're enormously supportive of one another, and they're facing basically a life of survival. That was another theme that Frank Herbert wanted to explore, was Paul was very principled when he got to Arrakis, but he starts living out in the desert and he learns that, oh no, you have to make some really fucking shitty calls sometimes if you just want to survive. The whole point of Chani and Paul's love story was that they were exploring that survival aspect together, and they were the only two people that they could rely on, respectively. And now that's just gone from the movie. So I don't like. That's a very convoluted and it's a very artistic argument, and I completely understand if other people just don't care. But I do, as somebody who's interpreted or who's seen a few literary works interpreted into movies done well, and many others done poorly. I think this is really walking a line on poorly, because I think that Dennis got up in his own shit as an artist, because he is an artist. He creates. He doesn't really interpret. He creates. So I think he got up in his own shit and he was just like, I know what Frank was really trying to do. I am going to do it better. And that's a problematic way of thinking most of the time. Anywho. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Oh, that was beautiful.
No, it was very, very well said. I mean, honestly, you taught me you made me realize that in all the times that I'd read the book that I'd kind of seen the signs of some of the things you talked about, but it didn't really click until you kind of all put it together so very succinctly. So thank you for that. That was very well done. I liked it.
Thank you for making me feel like I'm not crazy.
No, I haven't seen the second one yet. So I saw the first one, haven't seen the second one, because I heard that Villanueva changed something. And as a fellow Dune fan, I'm sure you could appreciate the number of times where, like, they kind of get Dune right, and then they go south. And I wasn't sure I wanted that experience for myself. Like, I'm still, like, of the opinion that the sci-fi Dune, the extended edition, probably did one of the better jobs so far. Because obviously the movie from '84 was far too short to do that material any kind of justice.
What I will say about the sci-fi miniseries of Dune and then Children of Dune, I will say they did not follow the book to a T. Mm-hmm. However, they got the tone. And this is the thing. Bret Easton Ellis. I love quoting this interview from Bret Easton Ellis. He wrote American Psycho. American Psycho got translated into a movie starring Christian Bale. Obviously, very, very well received, very famous. I have read the book. I've seen the movie. The book is different than the movie. The movie leaves out an awful lot of stuff. But Bret Easton Ellis went on, I think it was the Charlie Rose show, with the director of American Psycho, and he said, and I love this, you're never going to be able to translate. They're two completely different mediums, books and movies. You're never going to be able to translate one to the other, like frame for frame, word for word, shot for shot. It's just not possible. But the best thing you can hope for as a writer is that when somebody comes along and they try to make a movie out of your book, that they keep the essence of what you wrote. Mm-hmm. They remain true to your themes, to your ideas, and maybe they have to tell things differently because it's just a different medium. But as long as they can do that, it's good. Mm-hmm. The Sci-Fi Channel, when they did Dune, they didn't really follow the book. They took a lot of creative liberties, and also, I mean, they were working on a budget. I get it. Yeah. But they kept all of the themes. They kept everything there that made Dune Dune. So I don't shit on it too much because they did that. They obviously cared. And then there was what was his name? Dino De Laurentiis, David Lynch's Dune in 1985, which sort of fucking threw in this sound weapon. I don't know why somebody thought that was necessary for the movie. I don't get it. The 2-hour movie of Dune was kind of a fucking shit show. There's a fan edit out there that's 3.5 hours long. It's the Spice Driver edit. Go and watch the Spice Driver edit. It's way fucking better. And that's not saying much because it does basically turn into a Wikipedia article about halfway through, where people they're not delivering lines anymore. They're just stating things. I still love it. I still love David Lynch's Dune. I love the aesthetic of it. I love everything. I love everything about it. It's a glorious shit show, and I love it.
So, confession, and I said this to Masami, and I'm probably gonna get kicked out of the Discord for this, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I have never seen any of Dune.
Okay.
I have not seen the sci-fi movies. I have not seen the new movies. I have not read the books.
Would you like
Part of
to?
the reason why I would love to. I just my attention span is that of a goldfish.
Oh, all right. I'll re-edit
and-
the sci-fi one so that you can watch it in like 90-second segments.
Actually,
I think I can, if I can take the time to sit down and watch. I need to watch both of them back to back, and I think that's the reason why I didn't see the first one is because, from what I understood, the second one it should have all been one movie to begin with, and that I wanted to wait until the second one came out. That way I could just watch all of it. And then while I was watching it, I could write down questions that I have to ask you all, because I'm not versed in the lore. I have useless lore knowledge about shit that is meaningless. Like World of Warcraft.
Blood for the blood god!
Yes, well, that now for Warhammer 40K, yes, that is in my head.
Congratulations, there are libraries of that you will never be able to purge.
I know, and it keeps me awake at night. Because
I will say this, Zero. The audiobook on Audible is more of an audio play because they actually get different people to do the voices. It's really well done. So if you find yourself, in the I'm sitting here, I can't really do anything, but I could listen to something, highly recommend that. And that will get you through the first book. It will take a little bit of time. I think it's like 12 hours, maybe more.
Well,
but
and that's the thing. I love books. I do. My issue is I do have dyslexia, so I get very, very frustrated. It's why I prefer comics as a medium.
This is why I recommend audiobook.
Yeah. I can listen to somebody talk for hours. I've done it with Luton and learning the Warhammer 40K lore.
You do it every single fucking Monday here with me.
Well, I mean, but that's okay. Your voice at least gives me a small chub.
Aww.
But I can listen to people talk, and I can listen to people read. My issue is that I can't physically read. Like, I can read a chapter or two at a time. It's why I'm still working on my favorite book series of all time, is the K. Scarpetta series by Patricia Cornwell. I love those books. My mom got me into those books when I was in middle school. And I have just recently been able to complete reading them because they finally got audio versions of them. So I inherited all of my mom has all first editions, all hardbacks, of the K. Scarpetta novels, and I love it. I inherited all of those when she passed, and I love them.
See, that's nice. I like good old-fashioned book or tree-based literature.
Yeah.
I have all 6 volumes of Winston Churchill's biography.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was actually insane enough to read those at one point.
This is my surprised face.
He was a very intelligent individual. He was very thoughtful. He was also very dry in his writing. It was again, you want to compare it to a Wikipedia article, it's worse.
I lied. It's 21 hours and 2 minutes. But still, that's like half of a work week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I can listen to that while I'm working.
Yes, you're in the same position I am.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of shit.
So the
I
other
mean,
thing,
now
I
granted,
just
I
wanna,
take 250 phone calls a day, so it's like I have to listen to it in 10 and 30-minute segments when I'm on break and lunch, but that will give me something to do, and I can again write things down as I go.
I just want to say this, Zero. It is if you're gonna read Dune or listen to Dune, it's a thinking book. It will. It's very easy for you to just sort of slip into it like a warm bath and just be like, ah, Dune. But there's a
Maybe I should
lot.
do that while I'm listening to Dune.
There's a lot.
Slip
Yeah,
into
There you go.
yeah, that'd be nice. But there's a lot to think about in the book. There are a lot of themes. Frank Herbert was a very intelligent human being, and he had a lot of things that he wanted to say with that book, and he did successfully. But it's one of those things like where if you don't want to pay attention or you're not paying attention, then it just sort of goes by, and it's a nice story. But if you want to be a crazy person like me and analyze every little thing.
I will be honest, like I read it once and then I finally started comprehending the last third. So then when I finished, I started it all over again. So just be warned that you can listen to it multiple times and get new things out of it.
Different things out of it each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has re-listenability.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely does. You'll go back. That's a really good point, Masami. Actually, I didn't pick all of this detail up the first time that I read the book. I definitely did not. I was young. I was much younger, actually. I think I was 17 when I read it the first time.
Yeah, same here. I read it out of my high school library.
I've since read it at least 2 other times. And I didn't notice more stuff in my opinion. It has taken decades for me to develop the opinions about that book that I have.
Yeah,
I've
read it at least. This the first 2 times, and then I think I read it a third time in high school, and then it was a while before I read it again. I want to say several years later, and then I've listened to that audiobook a couple of times because Cousin and I will take road trips. Have you ever gotten your hands on a copy of the Dune Encyclopedia?
I don't think that I have a hard copy of the Dune Encyclopedia. I have read it. I've got a PDF. I know that much, but I don't think I have a hard copy of it.
What was really funny is that my local library in the middle of goddamn South Dakota had a copy. It was a really shitty copy of the Dune Encyclopedia. So after I was reading the book, that was super helpful. Unfortunately, that thing is so massively out of print. Like the cheapest one I'm seeing is like $110.
Wow.
Which means the value has doubled since Kosen gifted me a copy right as we were getting together.
You know,
I think he paid $50 at the time.
The new movies are coming out, and Dennis is going to go on, and I think he's going to try to do Children of Dune. He might even make it to Dune Messiah. Who the fuck knows? With all the renewed interest in Dune, why wouldn't they just put that into reprint?
Yeah.
I imagine that would be popular. Do they want, or do they not want people reading the books because they're just like, oh, we are taking this and we took a sharp left turn in the middle of the second movie.
I mean, who knows? I mean, the fun fact about the Dune Encyclopedia, and you probably know this, Doc, is that the guy who compiled it actually sat down and talked to Herbert for a good long time. Because he got to Herbert before he passed. So
I don't know if I started my thing with an interview of a guy who was a professor at Washington University. I don't know if what I just cited is also in the Dune Encyclopedia. Because that was that article, that one interview that's like and this is the glorious thing about the interview that I was talking about. This guy brought a tape recorder and put it down and talked to Frank Herbert for hours, and then somebody, probably him, was insane enough to type the whole thing out and put it onto a website that looks like it's from 1996, and you can still read it today.
That's amazing. I love that. I love every part of that because I loved the Dune Encyclopedia. I still love it. Because because this is how big of nerds we are. The first Valentine's Day Kosen and I had as a couple, he gave me a first edition copy of Dune. Because that's the nerds we are.
That's so gay balls. I'm happy for you that you found true love. That's what that says to me. Like, I got you a Dune encyclopedia. Oh my god, that's that right there.
I was over the moon. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I would have been too. Hell, I would have married Kosen.
I will tell him that.
He probably would have been like, no, that's not what I was going for, and then he would have lost consciousness, and when he woke up, we would have been in Vegas.
Hey, they did that in WWE once. And it was the boss's daughter and Triple H.
Oh my god.
Love.
Oh my god, wait, but that was actually for real, wasn't it? And they're still together?
Yep, they are still married to this day.
That's so sweet.
Okay, so moving on to that, because I did an unintentional segue.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay, yeah.
I did an unintentional segue. I watched every episode of the Mr. McMahon
that's
Netflix
right.
special this weekend, and I hated the man before. I really, 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 really hate him now.
So where does it start, and
Wow.
where does it go?
It starts back when he bought the company from his father, and how he bought the company from his father, and how he removed his own father from the company that his father was running. Like, that's how vicious Vince McMahon is. He got his own father out of the way and said he would have killed his father if that's what it took.
Charming.
Because at one point, Shane McMahon wanted to. Paul Heyman said this in part of the interview. Said that there was a meeting at one point with Vince and Shane, his son, and Shane wanted to take over the company, and said that it was time for Vince to move on. And Vince sat at the table, grabbed a knife, and held it to his chest and said, "The only way you are removing me from this company is if you stab me right now, and you don't have the balls."
And
it's the reason why Shane is not. It's the reason why Shane isn't with the WWE anymore and has nothing to do with it.
If this was an anime, then he totally would have stabbed him in the balls in that moment.
Oh, 100%. And Shane wanted to, when the UFC, and Omega will know this, because when UFC was on the ropes and having financial troubles the first time, or when they were first getting started out, Shane wanted to buy them then and have WWE and UFC be underneath the same banner at that time. And Vince said, "We can't make money on that because there's no story. Once an athlete gets injured, they're out for the rest of their lives. They're done. We can't capitalize on their abilities, essentially." And it was just like the way that, like, they got Tony Atlas on there, which I know Tony Atlas personally. I have sat down and spoken with that man. He lives an hour from me. And the way he spoke of Vince, he spoke highly of him, but he said Vince can't be trusted. As a businessman, Vince is a good person. As a human being, Vince is terrible. It was rough.
How many episodes is it?
5 or 6.
Do you think they covered everything that they should have?
Oh, absolutely not. Because this was finished prior to current day. So Vince Once the allegations came out, because they were interviewing him throughout the entire show, and then once the allegations, the lawsuit started with Janelle Grant, this most recent one, and he left the company this last time, Vince walked away from this because he knew how it was going to turn out. He knew how the program was going to go. And he just stopped showing up to the interviews.
It was Omega that said it first. If only he was smart enough to just pay the hush money he agreed to.
Right. Exactly.
That's literally the only reason this happened.
He cheated. Yeah, he chinced out of what, $1.5 million?
It was something like that.
Yeah. It was a $3 million settlement. $3 million settlement, and he only paid $300,000 total.
Man, still glad it happened. It's always good when a light gets shone on the turd.
How is the saying? Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, you said you were gonna watch that, and you pulled through. I'm probably gonna watch that myself, just because I do. It's been a while since I've seen a good documentary.
It is very well done, and they interviewed the right people. The only person that I wish they would not have interviewed in this entire thing was Dave Meltzer, and that's a personal thing. Dave Meltzer calls himself a student of wrestling. He is not. He is a historian at best. He is not a wrestling journalist. He is a piece of shit. He always has been.
Mhm.
His rating system has led to the downfall of not one, but now 2 companies. And the only reason AEW is still a thing is because Tony Khan has money. Ted Turner decided to give up WCW, and that's the only reason why they aren't around anymore. So, but Dave Meltzer is a piece of trash. I don't like that they included him in this, because I don't think that anything that he said was relevant. But again, that's just personal opinion, because I don't like Dave Meltzer.
That's perfectly understandable. I don't like Sean Spicer.
He's a bit of a piece of trash as well.
And their names rhyme.
Yeah.
Do they? Anyway,
Spicer, yeah. Meltzer, close enough.
Meltzer, I just met her.
Acceptable.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good documentary.
Definitely
What's that? What's the name of that documentary, Zero?
Mr. McMahon.
Available on Netflix?
Available on Netflix or any seaworthy vessel.
Oh, God bless you. You made the same pun that I was gonna, or the same joke that I was gonna. That wasn't a pun. That was a joke.
I think the ship has sailed.
Oh, no.
The button's all the way over there, Doc. You don't have to press it.
I know. Next we're going fucking nuts. Yeah, I'm kind of pissed off that one of my ups died, and Yunella is now just plugged into the wall like a common Discord pleb.
Poor Yunella. She's getting her energy fed to her straight.
Yeah, now we're down to like a single surge protector, and instead of my triple redundancy.
Oh no! Whatever shall you do?
Spend another $250 for a fucking cyber power, or yeah, it's a cyber power ups.
Sounds energizing.
It is, and it's worth it when something actually does go wrong here, and things have gone wrong here. I mean, yeah, it's worth it, but...
Yes, we remember last year's anniversary podcast.
Yeah.
That was... That was
unfortunate.
More... Yeah, that was unfortunate. That I can't blame that one on the power company. That was more me. So I take the fall for that one. But 2 years ago, or 3 years ago? Yeah, there was actually a fucking power surge that would have destroyed computers, but the ups took it like a champ, and everything got protected. So that's why it's worth paying $250 for an ups, so that you don't have to replace your $2,500 computer.
Right. That's why I have one on both my. I've got a rather sizable one on my gaming rig, and then I've got one on my internet equipment because I purchased all of that myself.
Yeah.
I don't use the ISPs.
Also, most people don't appreciate that the power that just comes out of your wall, the power that gets fed to you, is mostly dirty power these days, by which I mean the sine wave is not regulated. So if you get something like an UPS that usually has a sine wave regulator on it, which just it enhances the longevity of your components. And
kick shame by power.
I know, no king shaming. I mean, everybody likes a little bit of dirty power every now and again, but I prefer it to be directly aimed at my nipples, not my computer.
You like it filtered, cleaned,
For my PC, yes.
straightened.
For me, I like it just all sorts of upside down and bent.
Oh, you are a curly noodle.
My God.
Did you know that a duck's penis looks like a corkscrew?
Yes, I did know that.
Did you know
Ask
that?
me when I discovered that.
When did you discover that, Zero?
By accident when I was drunk.
Oh, by accident. But sure. Omega, are you buying this shit?
I mean,
by accident.
I learned about it on the Discovery Channel when I was a child. Like, what kind of accidental drunken shenanigans are you having where you learn about corkscrew duck penises?
You know what? I don't even remember.
We should go to the park and we should look at duck dick.
Apparently.
I mean, that sounds like something I would have done in college. Yeah, somebody would have told me, yeah, ducks have dicks that look like corkscrews. I would have been like, no. And then we would have gone to one of the ponds. We would have gone to the ponds, found a duck. I would have spent all night trying to find a male duck. Keep on picking up ducks and being like, this is a lady duck.
Roast duck back in water.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm sickened by it.
Not even gently, you make dick roast duck in water.
Yeah.
Throws duck and ducks?
But seriously, I love ducks. They're delicious.
I knew that was coming somehow.
Especially with a nice orange glaze.
Yeah, that is so. Hey, Zero Supermarket together got an update, free update.
Was it free?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's the Eat Healthy patch. So they've added organic foods or healthy foods like vegetables and fruits and stuff like that don't come in like sealed plastic containers. So you got produce, I guess you could say, and some new shelves to put in your supermarket. They did some crazy fucking stuff for quality of life. Just quickly, empty boxes can now be bought for the manager's blackboard. Restocking employees will now try to merge leftover box contents with others in storage if they exist.
Oh my God.
They added a new switch in the employee's blackboard in case players want to interrupt box recycling. Slightly displace the store's end wall for better furniture fitting. That's just nice. Modified avoidance radius for employees. This will make them less likely to get stuck with each other. You may notice that sometimes when your employees are going around the corner through a door, they will just go face to face and they'll get stuck and you'll have to beat them with a broom to make them move again. So they fixed that. And they're starting to add visual effects for products during checkout. So now the products will drop inside newly added bags in the checkouts. And they will be adding visual effects and animations. later on with more updates. 23 new products related to produce.
Fancy as shit.
Yeah. So, free update and more to do with the supermarket. So, I'm just impressed. This is a fucking free game. This is a free game with a $5 DLC if you feel like watching Twitch or YouTube on the in-game TVs, which, by the way, is a great fucking feature. I think that alone makes the DLC worth it, but there's tons of other stuff in the DLC too. Free fucking game that's getting these updates. I think it's great.
I mean, it is a fun game. Again, like I told you before, it's one of those I have to be careful because I end up with a fucking headache because I don't know. It's something about the way that the movements and stuff are throws me up.
There is no cursor acceleration, so there's no like grace period where you're just sort of ramping up as you look. It's just instant. Wherever you turn your mouth, it's a lot like Warframe. Wherever you look, you instantly look there. If that makes any sense. So yeah, that's probably why it's sticking with you.
Not even the good dickin'.
No, it's not Dad Dick.
Or Charles. Charles Dickinson.
Oh, all right. It was in my mind. I was like, wait a minute. Charles. Wait, Dick.
Jimmy Dixkin? What? Dickens. That's a Letterkenny reference that only Masami will get.
Oh, that's so sweet. Masami posted in my DMs. She told Kosen about how I would have married him, and he gave it the old Lamau, as he is known to have do. Okay, so Paul Blart Mall Cop is back in vogue.
Paul.
Omega is playing a game that was free on Epic a little while ago, and I grabbed it, and it looked absolutely a goddamn adorable. How is what is this Bear and Breakfast?
Yeah, it's fun, but the perfectionist in me is trying to figure out the ideal layout for rooms in the given space, and I'm torn between, like, because this game you can absolutely min-max, or you can make like adorable little hotel rooms. So I'm, trying to, of course, strike a balance of sorts, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because there's things you have to take into account. You gotta, like, have bathrooms within certain range of rooms, and you gotta provide, so it's like you gotta figure out the right layout for things. And then there's certain other rooms, like the kitchen and the utility room, that have a negative decoration modifier in a radius around them, so you don't want to put any bedrooms right around them.
Can you use bathrooms as a buffer?
Yep, bathrooms, dining rooms, those are my go-to. But other special rooms, anything that you can put in between so that you don't get a bedroom within that range.
The graphics are a little hokey for me, but I love the concept, and I read about it, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm probably gonna wind up sinking some hours into this.
It's fun. Right now, development is on a little bit of a pause because the art director is battling cancer. I found this out on the Discord. So the game is still in development, but it is currently kind of in like bug fixes only mode at the moment. But, that's not expected to be long-term.
See, what you want is to have a bathroom the same size as the bedroom.
I made it a little smaller.
I'm not sure if I ever designed a house, but I'm pretty sure that I would make the bathrooms huge, just because. I mean, you spend a fair amount of time in the bathroom. You're going to take a shit every single day. You're probably going to shower every day too, and you spend some time in that room. Might as well be a nice room, big room.
I don't take a poop every single day. Oh God, now I'm insecure. Thanks.
You should be. There was some article put out by some hoity-toity research center that was just like, yeah, taking a shit twice a day is good because I always love this explanation. Taking a shit twice a day is good for you because it helps flush toxins faster. Whenever you're reading something and the word toxins pops up, I just appreciate it if a little red light in your mind went off. You can call it the doc light, where you're just like, wait.
Yeah, toxins aren't a thing.
Yeah, toxins, that truer words, my friend. Toxins are definitely a thing. What kind of toxins?
That's just not a thing. You can't just ominously say the word toxins. It's not a thing.
So yeah, shitting twice a day is good because it flushes the arsenic out of your system. Oh, I mean, okay, fine, arsenic is a toxin. Where are you getting that from? Cherry pits?
I was gonna say somebody been eating some cherry and peach pit. That's bad for you.
Sounds like the pits.
Oh man. Yeah, now we're right back to think about the things that you read. Don't just accept it because it sounds good. Former Blizzard, what is this article? Former Blizzard president planned to cut down on microtransactions in Diablo 4 and reboot Overwatch before the Microsoft buyout.
I don't believe it.
Well, I do. I mean, former Blizzard president planned to cut down on microtransactions. I mean, maybe that's a very broad statement, but smart people would remember that when Diablo 3 came out, and it was basically, you could consider it pay to win because of the auction house, that didn't go over great. I'm not saying that's what they did with D4 at all, but paying real money for Diablo did not go over well in Diablo 3, so maybe before this ever came out, maybe there was some doubt about having a cosmetic store, or real money cosmetic store. Yeah, according to the article, details about how any of this would have been done are not mentioned. But his departure kept it from ever coming to fruition.
That's a shame.
Man.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie and tell you that I haven't spent money on D4 glitter because I'm a glitter whore.
Whore.
Thank you.
Somebody clip
You're not
that.
alone, Zero.
Make that into a soundbite. It's just Doc saying whore.
Why are you saying somebody clip that? You're the somebody.
Clip that.
Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should clip a whole bunch of my stuff. But then I can't put it on my soundboard. Zero, you gotta get your soundboard working again so you can do all the Doc clips.
Yeah, I can do that. Every time I do something stupid, whore.
Whore.
every time I play WoW, whore.
You can actually go into Windows and you can customize the sounds for various system stuff. You can still do that. It used to be way easier in Windows 98, but you can still do it. What?
Can you? I want to do it.
You can, yeah.
You could You go fuck with all that.
Every time my computer starts up, it's deleting us saying, I would put my penis in it. Will I have that?
I would put my penis in it.
That one.
Yes.
Also the other one. Okay, so this Zero, thank you so much for posting this. I had a good laugh. The developers behind the astonishing disaster the day before are back and they want your money. This is a double whammy for us because first of all, it's coming from Kotaku, which I think is an absolute dog shit source of information. But they're right. FNTASTIC has rebranded. FNTASTIC is the developer. We named a fucking podcast episode after them. Are the guys that made The Day Before, which was a zombie survival shooter that just fucking tanked. It was awful, and it crashed hard. FNTASTIC was the studio behind it. They sort of ducked down and disappeared, and now they're back with a new game.
They're really, really sorry.
Yeah, they are.
We're at, all the South Park memes coming out right now because I just pictured Kyle's cousin Kyle saying, "I'm big."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Omega has the CEO of BP naked on a bearskin rug saying, "We're sorry."
Mm-hmm. So I think the best part about this is if you look at the gameplay, and I'm not gonna lie, I learned about this from Asmongold, which is again not someone that should ever be listened to for any long period of time.
Don't call him Asmongold. Yeah, don't call him Asmongold. Just call him Eric. His name's Eric.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not know that. Now I do.
So what Eric has to say?
He brought this up, and I was flipping through TikTok, and for some reason, him and Pirate Software are like the two top things on my fucking For You page the last week, and I'm trying to get Eric off of my For You page and more Pirate Software.
Cool.
Because Pirate Software is awesome. He uses MS Paint to explain things, and I understand it.
See where the low bar is set.
Yep. I mean, hey, look, he used to work for Blizzard. He did some stuff for Blizzard, security stuff for Blizzard. And
he started as a tester.
Yeah.
And then he basically solved a security problem for them, and then wrote up effectively a job description for them to hire for. He was like, you guys need to hire somebody who could do this. And then the guy at the company was like, hey, look at the job we just posted. It's for you. And so they basically gave him the job. So he became their security guy.
What a fucking Hallmark moment.
I mean, his whole background was apparently in hacking. He's been an actual hacker for the Defense Department and shit. So he's not just
he's not a script video game by any means
developer. He's
was he a contractor or a white hat?
He was a white hat.
Okay.
It was Department of Energy that he worked for.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay, just generally speaking, it's a great idea to have people with great technical know-how working for any federal agency because, Jesus fucking Christ, our government needs help in that department. So, good on him. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Eric, he had this on his, it was on TikTok, and I saw this and I went, that can't be true. Anything that comes from him, I take with a grain of salt instantly. And I went and looked it up in Kotaku, and I was like, oh God, I feel like I really need to look another place just to be sure. But Kotaku had the best article out of the ones that I looked at. So that's the one that got posted. which says a lot.
Oof.
Yeah. But yeah, no. It cracked me up. I was like, these fuckers are really asking for money. Now they're getting
Oh, that's right. It's a Kickstarter. They're on
they're
Kickstarter
getting
and they're
fucking
asking
trolled.
they're asking for money to do their next big project after the day before, which was supposed to be an MMO, came out on Steam and was just nothing like it had been advertised. The demo that some people had played with.
Asset flipped trash.
Well, they gutted the whole MMO aspect of the game. There's nothing MMO about, or there was when it got released. There was nothing MMO about it. So, yeah. It's a scam studio. just don't. I don't know why they didn't rebrand. Why didn't they? It's not that difficult to start a new company and incorporate it. Why didn't they just come up with a different name?
That would be smart. These are not smart people.
Because we have history with the name FNTASTIC. Whatever. Thank you for posting that article, though. That is hilarious that they're trying to come back. It's been what, like a year? A year. So yeah, people have basically forgotten. People are idiots. It doesn't take people long to forget about shit that happened.
Since then.
Yeah. You know how many times I've pooped since FNTASTIC came out with their last game? I can't even remember. It's been that long.
Billions of poops.
But if you do the math, and I shit twice a day, Omega, you brought up a while ago the article about how California is pushing for a change in language when you're selling things on Steam. You can't say that you're buying a game anymore because you're not. You're buying a license to play the game. And California wants, rightly, I think, in my opinion, wants to make that verbal distinction. And Steam now warns customers that that they are buying a license, not a game, before they continue to payment.
Yeah, I actually saw recently. Apparently, GOG put something in their terms of service. It's like a jab at it, where they're basically like, "Yeah, you actually own this."
Yeah, that's a good point because I've got a lot of. I have Cyberpunk, I have Witcher, all the Witcher games. I have a lot of good stuff on GOG, and I download it once, and I have the install files, and that's it. It just works. So in GOG, I am actually buying a game. I appreciate that. Good old games. It's been a while since. It's been a while since we've said anything positive about good old games, but I have nothing but good things to say about them. I've never had any shit. So yeah, all right, yeah. So that's the whole shtick. Now, the warning is displayed just below the Continue to Payment button. It says a purchase of digital product grants a license for the product on Steam. So yeah, thank you, California. It's a small step, but I think it's an important step.
They, like the EU, are doing the Lord's work.
Someone out there's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, California is kind of on a roll. Did I tell you guys about? I think I posted it, but we never talked about it. The lawsuit that the
A white roll or a wheat roll?
Oh! That's a 3-pointer. I appreciate that. I understood that.
I see you like to rise to the occasion.
Oh, the button. It's so far away now.
Right there.
There's like there's a cooldown period on my arm. Oh, wait, I'm holding a bottle. Let me see if I can push the.
Acceptable.
Yeah, they're okay.
Oh, I'm glad it panned out for you.
I'm gonna come
Christ,
to where you
woman,
live.
Are you going to stop?
I'm gonna come to where you live, and I'm gonna pelt donuts at your front door.
I'll open
Speaking
my
of
mouth.
which, so speaking of donuts and the time of year, it is Christmas tree cake time again, y'all.
What?
The perfect Little Debbie cake.
Oh God.
And
They're
guess what
pretty
they've
good.
done? They've turned them into fucking donuts. They've turned them into the Little Debbie, the little mini donuts that you can buy in the bags. You can get the Christmas tree cake kind now, and it's amazing. I haven't tried them yet because, diabetes. But
I can't remember if this is a thing that you and Omega are united on, or a thing that you and Omega fight over.
I mean, honestly, I am not familiar with these. I haven't seen these yet.
the Christmas tree cakes or the Christmas tree donuts?
The donuts.
Yeah, they actually made, I think, Christmas tree donuts this year, and what else did they make? Hang on, littledebbie.com. Let's not look that up.
That's not what you think it is.
Actually, it is exactly what you think
it's
it
gonna
is.
be exactly what you think it is.
It is exactly what you think it is, sir. Littledebbie.com
A product
takes
of
you
the
directly.
internet?
It takes you directly to
Pornhub?
Nope. I'm in Virginia. We don't have Pornhub anymore.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
called your basement.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you in Louisiana. You
Yeah.
need a driver's license to get into Pornhub now. That's really unfortunate for people who don't know what VPNs are.
Let's see here. Christmas tree cake donuts. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, Little Debbie has a Christmas tree cake. Oh my God, there's a giant inflatable outdoor Christmas decoration that is yes.
I just heard you
Unit
get an
10.
erection.
Zero comes on air.
Ugh.
Don't worry, it'll be over quick.
It will be about 30 seconds.
Hey, yeah.
Well,
it might
actually,
be
30 seconds is about 15 seconds longer than I actually need.
It might be a terrible idea, but it wouldn't be time consuming.
I understood that reference.
Oh, good Lord.
So let's see here. Christmas tree cake donuts. Let's see here. Okay, Little Debbie is introducing. Okay, so the little mini muffins that they make, they're also doing Christmas tree cake donut or Christmas tree cakes for. And then they are doing the Christmas tree cake donuts on top of the zebra cakes that they turn into Christmas tree cakes. Oh, look at that. North Pole Nutty Buddies. I didn't know those were a thing. Oh, it's white chocolate. That's gross. White chocolate's disgusting.
White chocolate doesn't even have chocolate in it.
I mean, it has cocoa butter in it. That's chocolate.
That's cocoa butter.
Which comes from chocolate.
Oh, actually, and I read that this is why I started saying fuck Hershey's. In the United States, you actually don't have to have more than, I think it's 14% cocoa butter in your product. You don't technically have to have any chocolate in your chocolate. You can say made with what is it? It's like made. It's not made of chocolate. It's made of or made with chocolate. So you can't actually call a Hershey bar chocolate. You have to say made with chocolate.
Oh wow.
That's in this country anyway. There's a whole story behind why Hershey's. It's actually a very simple chemistry explanation. It's 200 years ago when they started making chocolate in this country, it was not possible to keep milk fresh for more than a day or so. So if you wanted chocolate and you basically had to eat it the same day that you made it, you couldn't really ship it all over the country. So Hershey's came up with a process to basically half spoil milk. That's kind of what was going on. But the thing about the process is, and there is a name for this process that I forgot, it's lactic or it's something to do with lactose. You let the milk start to spoil, and then you stop it spoiling by dropping it back down in temperature. Once you have done that, it is not possible for the milk to spoil anymore. It becomes stable. The side effect is, so that in that way, you can then use that product to go ahead and make chocolate. And you can ship it all over the country, and it will stay. It has a shelf life of over a year before any discoloration or anything like that. It's always good to go. The downside to it is that it makes the chocolate slightly bitter. So that's why you start pumping sugar into it. But even with the sugar, you still have kind of a bitter aftertaste in your mouth. That is why American chocolate has a slightly bitter taste to it. You probably don't notice because you've been eating it all your life. And the reason that Hershey still does it 200 years later, when we have all the technology in the world to stabilize milk, and we don't need to use the lactase product or process anymore. The reason they do it is because we're kind of used to the taste, and we're nostalgic for the taste, and so that's why they keep on doing it in America. It's not this way in Europe. Europe uses a completely separate process, and they have slightly higher standards as to the amount of cacao and cocoa butter that you're supposed to put into your chocolate in order to call it chocolate. But Hershey's does it because it's cheap, it's nostalgic, and they like money. That's why I started saying.
There was something else. There was a food that we talked about one time on this show that was. They changed it, and it can no longer say "made with." Or they had to. It was something. I forget what it was, but I specifically remember having this conversation.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Made with love.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada.
Everybody knows that is the most important ingredient. By the way, the movie The Menu is really good.
Is that Ralph Fiennes?
I believe so.
With he's a really uptight gourmet chef.
Yep, on an island and he kills people.
Yeah, it's kind of a great movie, huh?
Yeah.
I love at the end where she just wants a cheeseburger.
Yep.
See,
she wants.
That's a thinking movie. That's not a movie that you listen to while you're at work. That's a fucking thinking movie. Lot of stuff going on in there. Oh, Zero, you might... Okay, something caught my mind, or caught my eye the other day. And my mind. Ralph Fiennes is in another movie where he plays... I think he's a cardinal, and he's in a process to pick a new pope. The movie starts... I think the movie is called Conclave. And
Conclave. I want to watch this movie.
Yeah, me too, because it just starts off. The premise of the movie is the Pope is dead. We have to pick a new Pope, and it's just Ralph Fiennes. If anybody knows how Conclave works, the college seals themselves inside of a building, and they don't leave until a new Pope is selected. So nobody comes, nobody goes. It's a set location, which is great for a movie or a stage play. And it's got Ralph Fiennes in it, so I really want to fucking see it.
He was in, remember the first movie I ever saw him in was Red Dragon.
Yeah, probably that was a lot of people's introduction to Ralph Fiennes. And then, of course, he became the beloved Voldemort.
Yep.
The man's got range. One of my favorite movies that he's done was Coriolanus, which is a modern day... it's sort of like a Jesus Christ Superstar kind of reimagining of a Shakespeare play, in that in the original Jesus Christ Superstar, the Roman guards had AK-47s and Uzis. I was just like, well, that's not historically accurate. That's not the point.
America.
I think you mean Judea, but that's not the point. So yeah, it's Coriolanus, but sort of set in a modern day. So he is a general. He is wearing camo. He's wearing digital camo, and people have like fully automatic weapons. It's a great. I bring that up because it snapped me out of the Shakespearean sort of aspect of that story, and it let me enjoy it all over again. Anyway, Conclave. Yes. I want to see that movie, and the Menu is great. I'm happy you saw that, Zero.
Yeah, when I got Netflix through my Verizon perks, that was like the first thing on my watch list.
Not how to create sex dungeons? I'm impressed.
Actually, I have started watching a new anime.
Masami, is that a thing? Is that a
Yeah,
is that
that's
a
a
book or a
thing.
documentary?
It's on Netflix. This chick, she makes her living designing rooms and houses that are for fun, adult fun time.
I've seen that.
Why is it always
it's
a
just
chick?
not believable.
It's probably a hot chick too, right?
It is.
No,
Like, that's why
I thought it
people
was an
hire.
old chick.
I mean, she's old, but she's
Just-
hot.
Just because you're old doesn't mean you can't be hot. Come on, Masami. Did Barry teach you nothing?
not wrong there.
Barry would have fucked a tree if it had the right holes.
Yeah, probably, yeah. There's some of me in that though. Like I personally would tongue punch Helen Mirren's fart box any day of the week.
Oh god.
Somewhere in the world, a lawyer just perked up.
Like that episode of Family Guy when they mentioned what's her name? From Charmed.
Alyssa Milano?
Yeah, they mentioned Alyssa Milano, and she's like,
I'm suing, I'm on it. Yeah, I remember. They cut to live action, and it's actually Alyssa Milano on her couch at home. Yeah, that was great. That was back when Family Guy could actually tell a joke. Sorry, Zero, you were saying something about a new fashion show you started watching?
I don't know.
Anime?
Oh, yes, Delicious in Dungeon.
Delicious. Oh, okay, yeah, you're getting around to that one.
Yeah.
I got some memes from that one, actually, that I like.
Oh, hey.
No, it's the elf explaining that, actually, elves have a variety of uses. They're very versatile. They have a variety of uses in groups, and blonde characters like, yeah, as cock sleeves. I like crude jokes.
I just want a damn mythic.
No.
There are quite a few, actually, animes that are just finishing now, or that are coming out and are just finishing. Chillin' in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers is one that's on my list. There's a lot of AMV here that I can just do without. Oh, Zero. The next one on my list is Mitsuboshi Colors.
What?
It translates to
Bob
3-star
Ross
colors. It's a Japanese series. Whatever. It's like a gag comedy slice of life with 3 schoolgirls who get into all sorts of like just ridiculous shit scenarios. It's gonna be another one of those Asobe. It's gonna be another one of those where it's just like very common everyday scenarios, and it gets completely out of control and out of hands. And then at the end, when everything is on fire, they just cut away, and when they come back, everything's back to normal. There's something to be said.
Oh, good heavens. I believe we've been going for almost 2 hours now, y'all.
Yeah. It's about 11 o'clock. We should probably stop. We're not even halfway through the articles. I did a bad job.
I was about to say, don't your dogs have to go out here soon?
My dogs are in New Hampshire. I have the house to myself.
Oh, fantastic.
I am...
That explains why we went on.
Yeah. So I had time. Also, let's see. All right, no, I'll just speed through this. Dark Age of Paradox Interactive. What exactly happened to one of PC gaming's best publishers? I don't know. That's a great question. What happened to Ubisoft and EA and Sony? Because they're going through the same shit. Let's see. Turns out that Discord exists because the chat service's co-creator wanted somewhere he could chat about Final Fantasy XI. That's a weird That's a weird flex, but okay, you create a Discord so you can talk about FF11. Good for you.
I mean,
Swinger.
yeah, like it's just kind of a cool fact that like the game that inspired somebody to create a third-party voice chat program that also incorporated texting and all that cool, like everything that Discord is. It's just fun to know what the game that spawned it all was. It's a fun little tidbit, little trivia fact for you. One day it might show up at trivia night.
Is there a
Like,
did a serious article sneak its way in here? Swinger parties to
Yeah.
legal dramas, the dream job turned nightmare of video game company Blizzard.
Yeah, somebody's written or wrote a book about all the crazy shenanigans at Blizzard during its heyday, and it's quite the revealing tell-all.
In one infamous incident, a pair of employees posed with a picture of the now disgraced Bill Cosby in a hotel suite, which became a scandal that cost them their jobs, despite the fact that the photo was actually taken before the allegations against Cosby were widely known, but confirming women often felt like second-class citizens in the company. Who hasn't taken a picture of themselves holding a picture of the late, great Bill Cosby? He's dead, right?
No.
Shit.
No.
Well, one of these days.
Yeah, some of the
Yes.
details in the article are pretty gross, but a lot of that stuff has already come to light, and it's more like here's the sordid details of all the stuff that we heard about a few years back.
In one section, Shriner recounts how some of Blizzard's highest-ranking developers and executives were swingers, and they would invite colleagues to sex parties, which, while consensual, contributed to a culture where willingness to participate in out-of-work activities could influence office decisions like promotions. Gross.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Ugh. So, yeah, Zero, if you ever need a reason to not play WoW, I'm just saying.
Wild, crazy. I mean, have you ever seen what Moonguard looks like? No, you haven't, because you've never played WoW. Masami, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The Moonguard server is something else. Like, I would show you guys what it's like, but then I would have to cut my own eyes out.
I know you're trying to dissuade me.
Irony. The irony of this statement is just, oh man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go check that out. Thank you everybody for Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's been a while. There's still people in Twitch chat. Thank you everybody for sticking around for hour 57 minutes. Almost hour 58. So we're going. And we'll see you next week for a very special Anniversary podcast. What year is it? It's 2024. That means it's going to be our 4th Anniversary podcast.
Yes, it is.
Love how that worked out.
Wow.
4 years of us dicking around, playing games, and you suffering my madness and mental incompetency. This is going to be great.
It means that, it means that I've known you all for about 5 years now.
That's a good time. We should play some game together again. That'd be cool.
Warframe.
We could definitely play Warframe. I think Omega's out on that one though. But Omega was maybe planning a draw steal game. I think all of us except for Leetness have created characters. Masami, did you create a character? She's thinking
Not
about
yet, but it will happen, I swear to God.
I had into character creation there. Omega did a great job setting up a Discord with pretty streamlined process for character creation. So anyway, it'll be fun.
Yeah, he's gonna set up the VTT.
Oh yeah,
Remember how Roll20 works.
and speaking of VTT, November is coming up, and I have not forgotten, Masami, you said that Foundry usually has a Black Friday sale. I look forward to buying Foundry for $25.
It's either 25 or 35. I can't quite remember how cheap they go. I just know it's the only time they cut you a really good deal on it.
$35 is too much. Yeah.
You're to 50?
Only $15 off. That barely covers a hamburger at McDonald's. So, yeah, we'll be back. Same time, same place, next week, for a very special Anniversary podcast. Until then, fuck Winnie the Pooh, fuck Putin, fuck Elon, fuck Linus Tech Tips, fuck Hershey's, fuck Nestle, fuck Vince, and I always feel like I'm leaving someone out. I said fuck Elon.
I don't think that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Penis. That's it. Bye. That's it. Go home.
Bye.
Bye.